was going to be his Ace Durand orientation, but it did not happen. And he has worked through all kinds of issues with the truck, but this is our first video that I have made of riding in this truck. This is a very empty truck. We don't even have his bed made or anything. He's got nothing in here, just the bunk. He doesn't have any gear in here. It's a very empty truck. And so we got to start piecing that together. But Steven, you got everything fixed? Was it the starter?
Well, I've cleaned all the cable ends on the battery, put 4 new batteries in. There was a broken cable at the other end on the starter, and I replaced that. It still wouldn't start on its own. And so I thought I've done everything, so I figured, well, either there's something wrong with one of the cables that's not at one of the ends that I can't see, or I would have to spend forever trying to find or just replace a bunch of new cables. I decided, well, maybe I better try the starter since I have the spare one. And I decided to change that. So I changed the batteries, cleaned all the cables, fixed the broken cable on the starter, and it still wouldn't start on its own. And so I've literally have not been able to get this truck started since the day that I first seen it on its own. You have to start the APU to get it fired up. So, which is not a good thing. So anyway, I've been dealing with that since last Wednesday with the few hours I get each and every day, and the weather changing and the rain, all that. So I changed the starter today to an old starter that was on the old Freightliner that I had, and when it had starting issues, and so I put it on, and it did start by itself. It didn't have to have the APUs running, and it didn't have to have a jumper on it. But that's also, I had the APU running for 3 or 4 hours earlier today, so really it did have an assist. It just wasn't running at the time that I cranked it over. And so when I cranked it over, it wasn't really happy about cranking over. It really drug in the first rotation. But once it got rotating, it started turning over pretty good. But I had to hit it with some ether to fire it up. So something's still wrong somewhere. But it is. That's the first time it started up on its own without having a backup like APU. But it still had to have some starting fluid to fire it up. So it would crank, but it wouldn't fire. So they want $48 for a check valve to hold the pressure up at the head. And generally when it won't hold pressure overnight, that's what the first thing you want to look at. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it is. We just hope that that's what it is. I mean, it could have a leaky injector that's losing pressure. It could have a leaky airline. It could be many things, from fuel filter to the injectors to that check valve. So, but I think the first place you want to start is the check valve. So I've had trucks in before that would start doing that overnight and wouldn't want to start the next day, and it was generally the check valve. So that's the first thing. I'll run over and get me a check valve, and I've been saying it for weeks now. I gotta finish hooking up my horn, because all I got is a wire. And I'm sure that's not gonna fly, so I need to put a button on, and my low air pressure buzzer isn't going off. And I did talk to Ken, the guy that owned it for me. He said he unplugged it, so because it wouldn't appropriate. So that will work. There's no wrongs about that. If it comes on when the dummy light comes on, then that means it's working. As long as it goes off when the dummy light goes off, it'll be fine. So I got to do that, and so anyway.
So, did I understand then? Is it my correct understanding that that starter that you had from the other Freightliner obviously was an amazing save for you? You didn't have to go out and buy a starter. You had a starter, and that was the problem?
Like I said, it still struggled to start. What I said. Still struggled to start. It didn't just start up like you would turn on a car. Now, it didn't start like it should. It really had a hard time. So it really didn't help much. Although it did start on its own. But really, I had ran the APU unit. So yes, I changed the starter, thinking that the starter might change it. And it did start up on its own. Yes, it did. But the APU unit was running about 4 hours before that, and I had shut it off about an hour before, well, right before I installed the starter, which took me about an hour. So really, even though it started without the APU running, it did have the batteries charged up from the APU running. So here's the way it works. In the morning, when it's cold, normally you can get up there, turn on the key switch, and hit the button, and boom, it's going to start right up. Will not. Has not. And so I put the starter on it today. But I will not know until first thing in the morning when it's cold and it's been sitting all night if it will start up on its own. And I won't know that until morning. Because the reason why is because it's had the APU running for hours. It's been charged up. It's warmer. Blah, 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 blah. There's all kinds of reasons why it started up today. When it's in the morning, I will know. In the morning, I will know. I will know if it passes, if it doesn't, in the morning.
Okay. Well, what do you think about that decal? Is it doing what you wanted it to do? Is it taking the glare?
I don't know. I'm not driving.
The glare?
Not on the road. So when you're out on the road and the sun is glaring down on the hood and in the windshield, it causes a lot of glare and your eyes are tired and it really hurts your eyes. So just at a glance and run around the block, it's not gonna, I can't tell. But I can tell you from experience that it will definitely help.
This is the first time that I've ridden in the truck. And we've had it for a month now. Of course, a lot's been going on with that. But y'all can see how it's empty. It doesn't even have.
I haven't done anything on the inside.
No, none of your stuff is in here.
Yesterday, at the end of the day, because farting around and didn't get nothing done with everything going on, at the end of the day, I figured I'd at least try turning on the sleeper heater because the dial where you turn the cold to hot isn't
look at that.
I can't wait. People are such a hurry to get nowhere that they just can't wait.
Could have caused an accident.
That's just the way the general public is. I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go! Get out of my way! I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go! And then when they get home, all they do is get home and pop their feet up on the recliner. They're in a big old hurry for nothing. Well, they got the windows in their place.
Oh yeah, they're building a what do you call it? A bakery. That's a bakery right there. Two house,
It's a
two.
house and a bakery.
It's a house and a bakery. Our Mennonite neighbors. They're building a bakery. Just so we're gonna have a bakery. That horse has a blanket on. Look, y'all look. Do you see that? The horse has a blanket. Linus, you mean? But they're building a bakery just 2 houses down from us. So that's going to be extremely difficult to have fresh baked goods baking 2 houses down. They're really going to work on that. I mean, they are really being fast about it. When the Mennonites build, they build. They know how to build. Fast. Sure do. Yeah, December the 3rd was going to be Stephen's Ace Duran orientation day. But it didn't work out that way. But we think that we've got him on the docket for next Tuesday, the 10th. They have a orientation every Tuesday. So I guess we'll try for the 10th.
It's warming up in here, huh?
It does feel good in here.
Well, it dries and runs all right. I just get
Here, show them the wire. Take this and show them the wire from your.
Let's show them wire.
Show them the deal.
There's my wire, ladies and gentlemen. See there, my wire? You go like this, and it goes woo. See? Woo, woo. My woo horn.
no, I got a button.
But you're
But I have the switches in there. I'm just going to take this panel out. It's got all the switches in it. All I got to do is do it.
demonstrate your air horn. All right. Was there anything else on the panel that you were supposed to?
I think I'll take the 2 switches that are on that new panel and swap them with this because these are broken. See how they're broke off? So I can put stuff on there like this.
All right, and let me undo my seatbelt here and show you that he literally has no gear in here at all. Nothing. He brought it home on November the 2nd. This is December the 3rd, so that's another big job he has to do to get everything ready. So,
Yeah, I can't miss it this time around. I can't afford to be out of work much longer.
you know, I do like the blue though. I do like that blue. That's pretty. And I like the pretty steering wheel. That's pretty. And the blue panels.
Anyway, let me show you my view, ladies and gentlemen. So, you want to know what my view is? So this can of starting fluid probably won't be there, so we'll take that out of view. So there's my view, and I need to fix that thing there. It needs a sun visor. So that'd be my view. what you'll see. Yep. You get to see stars and stripes when I'm driving down the road. If I stand up high, I can see an eagle in my eye. This is where I'm going to be working, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my office.
Somebody called it a project truck. Somebody in the comments called it a project truck.
So welcome to my office. And then there's my bed. Thank you for checking out my office. Not my orifice, but my office. Well, we'll find out in the morning if it starts up. I know you'll ask me 500 more times, so I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, tell them about the door. It's doing it again.
It just broke again, I think.
Oh no. Oh.
Actually, it was the body.
All right, tell them what you had to do. Tell them about the door.
So what was happening just then is this piece of metal just got stuck right there. See that? So I'm going to cut that off. A lot of little projects going on in here. So if you look, there's a nut right there. Well, there wasn't a nut there before, but the back of this had a stud sticking out of it with a kind of like a larger O-ring on the sticking out of that, and the mechanism set on it. So really, you need to just replace this whole door handle instead of doing what I did. I drilled a hole through, or the hole was there, but because the thing pulled out and made the hole. So I made the hole bigger with a drill, stuck the bolt through there with a shimmy to hold all the mechanism together, because it was pretty well slotted, and then put some Loctite on that, and that's how I was able to get the door to operate again. So yeah, I mean, it's an old truck, and but you know, for 15 grand you can't expect to get a limousine, right? So it's an old truck. It's got a lot of little things that go wrong, little things here and there that need to be fixed up.
But we're grateful for
That's
it.
right. I'm grateful for it.
We're very grateful for it.
That's right. We're grateful
very
for it.
grateful for it.
I'm Big Belly.
And I'm Bumbles.
And we are
Big
Belly
Belly Bumbles.